recording, and I've begun recording. So even if you're not hearing me loud and clear, you're going to maybe have the recording available. So I was still asking the people who are available. For the last week, I was asking what you covered, the parts which you covered, and some people were telling me that you covered things to do with lists, and other lists. Okay, and some were debating that they didn't cover HTML structure. Some said they covered HTML structure. Okay, but nevertheless, we're going to have like a recap of this real quickly. A recap of this. Let me check the recording just to be sure I'm recording. Okay, good. So I'm going to have a recap of all this that we have covered, and hopefully everyone in the class, whether you missed, let me share the whole screen here. Whether you missed the class or you did not miss the class, you're going to have maybe access to at least to the details that may have missed. So even if you have missed something somewhere, you're going to use this class to catch up on those things. Okay, so I want to use the first 30 minutes to recap on some few things that you may have or may not have covered with Daisy and Justin. Then from there, we're going to move on to something new. Okay, so hopefully everyone knows what HTML is, and those who don't know, HTML is hypertext markup language, the language for the web, and it's used to make websites. And in our case, you're going to be writing some bit of code, and those who did not install the necessary softwares, that's Visual Studio Code and the Chrome. Please go ahead and install. So I'm going to share the links once again, just because I would assume that everyone has access to this. So I've shared this in the chat. Those who did not download Visual Studio Code, please go ahead. No, wait, this is not the right one. So this is the right one, the right link. Those who did not download Visual Studio Code, please do download Visual Studio Code. Okay, and I've also changed some settings because some people may have issues. So I've changed the settings just to make it easier for us to at least continue the class. Okay, sorry about that. So let us continue. So I'm going to recap very fast for those who are available and those who may miss the class. The link to the class will be shared. Hopefully, I'm still recording. Perfect. So let us begin the class. So if you did install Visual Studio Code, I've shared a link in the chat. I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code, and hopefully you know how to navigate it. So if you don't have to navigate it, at least you can learn from what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and create a simple folder somewhere on my computer. So I'm going to go maybe to the desktop. Let me just use maybe here. Let's do this and clear this up just to make it a little bit easier for us to what? For me to share this. Share it quickly here and here and here. So I'm going to create a new folder somewhere on my computer. Okay, I'm going to create it. I'm going to name it. Name it. Let's name it recap. Recap. Let's call it HTML. Yes, HTML. So this is a procedure, and if you're following along, you can write down some notes just to see what I've done. I won't assume that you know things. I'll just simply just simply cover the parts which need to be covered. Okay, so before I continue, first check my recording. I will be recording the wrong screen, just to be on the safer side. And just delete this. So I should be capturing this. All right, so I think I'm capturing the right screen. So as I was saying, just simply create a folder somewhere on your desktop or maybe on your computer, and after creating that folder, if you have already have VS Code already open, because this sometimes people forget this, simply open Visual Studio Code somewhere. Just open the app for Visual Studio Code, just like the way you open Microsoft Word. From there, it may show you like maybe some old work, but what you do, simply go ahead and go to File. Hopefully, just zoom a little bit in because it's a bit small. Then zoom in. And if you can see my screen, please do tell me. And if you can see my screen, please also do tell me in the chat. Okay. Let me also allow you to unmute yourselves. So if you can hear me, if you can't hear me, please do type in the chat. Maybe just type in the chat because okay. So if you can hear me, simply type in that. If you can't hear me, type cat, okay, in the chat. So if I'm clear, if I'm loud and clear, yeah, simply also agree with me. You can thumbs up, either react by saying thumbs up to know that this you can hear me, or else you can simply type in the chat. All right, so let us continue. As I've said, we have a folder on our desktop or somewhere on the machine. Okay, and I'm using Visual Studio Code, and of course, definitely all of you must have Visual Studio Code installed. From there on, what you do, you go to File, do Open Folder. Just click on File near the corner here. File near the corner, File. Then you do Open Folder. Okay, it's here. Just File, Open Folder. Then you can look for that folder somewhere. In my case, it's on a desktop. I'll click on a desktop. I'll look for that folder called HTML. Now I'll select that folder. Okay, that's the first step. Some people get lost because this step, most people get lost on it and they have files looking, my thing not working, I cannot find the file. So what I encourage you is to arrange all your code, all your files in one folder, whether be it the graphics class, whether be it Photoshop, whether be it Illustrator, whether be it After Effects, whether be it Premiere Pro. Please do go ahead and always find out of arranging your things in a folder. Okay, so let us go. So I'm going to create a new file. Hopefully you saw this with Daisy or Justin. So put a new file here. I'm going to name it. Let me just name it my name. So I'm going to name it Eric.html. Okay, just like that. And just to cover what you covered, you cover things to do with maybe with I think you covered things like paragraph tag. Okay, you covered like h1 tags. Okay, together. So it's a recap of what we did last week. Really quick. Okay, so you covered things to do with maybe UL and UL, okay, and OLs. Okay, but nevertheless, even if you did cover them, I'm going to go through this real fast. And if you have any issues, please type in the chat. At least I'll check the chat on a regular, so at least I can be able to help you. So back to my Visual Studio Code. Okay, so with HTML, write tags. Okay, and say tag, you have what we call the opening tag, for example, and H1 an opening tag. Okay, then we have a closing tag. Maybe a closing tag is the opening tag, like this. That's the closing tag. Okay. I'm going over this fast because I expect you at least to have some prior knowledge of this since I covered this thing in the last class. Okay. And they talked about maybe the opening tag and the closing tag, and have different they have different syntax or different ways of writing them. And the closing tag has this slash thing which says next is a closing tag. Okay. And there's so many tags, there are very many tags, over like 100 tags. But still I want to cover some few tags in this recap, then we'll move on to the next part. Okay. So I'm going to cover this real quick. Okay. So for HTML, for everything to be arranged perfectly, we have what we call the structure. Okay. The structure. So just like the way you write an official letter to somebody, like you have maybe the reference, the address, maybe the body, maybe the conclusion. Same applies to HTML. HTML has what we call a structure which you have to follow in order to write what we call good HTML. Okay. Maybe this is a disclaimer. It's not necessary to write the structure, but it's a requirement for you to write when you're writing good structure. Like, it's not a must, but it's good practice. It's a requirement if you are writing very good HTML code for you to write the structure. Okay, the structure is very simple. We have some few tags and few arrangement. So, for example, we have this doc type which comes at the top. Okay, and this doc type stands for document type. Okay, and document type here is HTML. Okay, so this tag, this tag what we call the document declaration. So I'm going to put here some comments for it. Hopefully, you know these comments are comments, and the comments don't appear in your code. So I'm going to name it. It's called document declaration, and this says this is HTML5. Okay, that's the name of this tag. Okay, and from there we have what we call the HTML tag. Okay, and the HTML tag is the parent tag of everything. Okay, and the good thing about VS Code, if you hover on this, it will show you the definition or the meaning of each tag. Okay, so the example, you are seeing the HTML tag saying the HTML element represents the root of an HTML document. So it's like the overall HTML document, the overall, or what you call the grandpa tag. Okay. Excuse me. So from there we write. We have two other tags which we have. We have the head and the body. So I'm going to write here the head. Just like the way you have a head and you have a body, you have there are two parts of the same thing, but they are separate. Okay, like I have the head, then underneath the head, you can see, and here is the head, underneath the head we have the body. Okay, this is a structure. Okay, this is a structure, and this all you need to know for the structure. Okay, just write the structure. And the good thing about if you're using Visual Studio Code, you can right click on your space and format. Okay, it will arrange it nicely. Okay, in a very neat way. So from here, see I've written this. If I right click and format, yes, this format, you can see that arrange the whole thing in a nice way. Okay, so I call formatting. It's like arrangement of code in a readable format, because this is readable, but this is readable even better. Okay, better. So HTML it's not like you can put as much space as you want. You can write everything on one line. Okay, write everything on one line, everything, and it will still work out. Okay, there's no errors because it's all one line. It's perfect. Okay, but write very nice and very neat code, because when you're writing code, you have to write some what we call neat code. That's neat and smart. Okay, so Visual Studio Code allows you to format your document in a certain way to make it look nice. So simply click on the page somewhere here, right click, then format. So format your document in what you call in industrial way of arranging it. Okay. The different ways people can tell you can use maybe this tab. They're going to have, if you're doing research, you'll see two very different ways of doing it. Okay, but that shouldn't be the main aim of you arranging it. As long as it's readable and neat, that's good enough. Okay, together. So you can see that I'm having this on a different line. The head is a different line, the body is a different line. Okay, together. This is a structure, and in this structure I'm going to copy it. I'm going to move this comment here. I'm going to copy the structure and paste it in the chat. So those who want to follow along, they can at least go ahead and have it ready. Okay, and all the code will be available somewhere. I'll share the links after the class of the recording and also the code. Okay, so from here, after doing the structure, inside the head, of course, you put the title. Okay, and the title is what is. I'll show you the title appears. Then inside the body is where I put all the other tags. Okay, so I'm going to document here all the other tags. Okay, go here. Actually, not all the other tags, but most of the tags. Okay, yes, say most of the other tags go here. Okay, so for the head, for now, you should know that inside the head, but in between this opening tag and the closing tag of the head, we have the title. Okay, for now. Okay, then inside the body, we have all the other tags which we have looked at, things to do with an H1 for headings. Okay, and you can see if I hover, shows me the H1 element represents a section heading. Okay, so can say maybe I'll put my name here. Okay, we have a paragraph which is a P tag. Can see represents a paragraph. Okay, and a paragraph can say maybe some gibberish words instead of like 10, 30. Okay, so you can put a paragraph here. Okay, a paragraph. Just to read it. Okay, here. Okay, so this is a paragraph, and a paragraph is just a long text. Okay, you have a previous format, make it nice. Okay, we have the heading, then some paragraph. Then this is how it appears on the page. Then just open this real quick. I can drag this. Okay, drag this. The file name here. Let's call the file name. Drag it. Drag it. Then first increase the mouse size, cursor size, because the cursor is a bit small. Let me just increase it just to make it a bit better for you to see where I'm dragging. Okay? All right. So just click on the name of the file. Then you can drag and drop it inside your. You see, I'm still dragging it. You can drop it inside your browser. Okay, and it just appear. Okay, like that. Okay, together. And you can see this is the H1. This is the heading. This is the paragraph. Okay, together, and they're all on different lines. Okay, together, they're all on different lines. So this one of doing it, you can also right click on it and say reveal in Explorer. Reveal in Explorer. Reveal in Explorer. Sorry about that. Reveal in Explorer. Then from there you can right click and open with Chrome. Okay. Together to still do the same thing. Okay. So let me repeat myself. Right click, reveal in Explorer. Then you see the file name here to appear somewhere here. And right click and open with Chrome. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, so I'm being a bit fast because I expect you to know this, so I won't repeat too much of this. Okay, so now I'm there ready, and I have all my files, everything ready. I can now start writing some HTML. Okay, so let's create some simple HTML file while we're doing recap. So I'm going to write some maybe I'll say Eric's maybe profile, okay, together. Then I have maybe that's h1, then I have an h2 here, h2, then about Eric, assuming. Then I have a paragraph here describing me, okay. This maybe you can say Eric is a capacity trainer, okay, in ICT, okay, together. Assuming, then I have one paragraph, then another paragraph here, second paragraph, okay. You can see what I'm doing. I'm simply going next to the closing tag of the P paragraph. Then I say maybe Eric is brown. Assuming, okay. I'm assuming, okay. So I have this. If I format it, now run it nicely, I can go and view it, okay. Go and view what I've done, okay, by simply refreshing here, okay. Refresh, okay. You can right click and reload, okay. Reload the page, okay, to show you. That's okay. To show you Eric's profile, about Eric, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, okay. You can see each paragraph is a different line, okay. So from there you can put more detail about yourself, okay. So what I encourage you right now is to build like a profile about yourself with details. From there on, maybe I can put a list of things I like. I can say maybe another h2, because h2 is a small heading, okay. You can say the difference between h1 and h2. H2 is very huge, h1 is a bit smaller, okay. So I come to an h2 again. I say things Eric likes, okay, assuming. Then I come here. After that, I can see what I've done. I refresh, okay. Just to make it a little bit better, I'm going to put side by side, okay, here very quickly, okay. And just change this one to side and this side, okay. Now I can see both things clearly, okay. I can see the code I've written, then also the results, okay. Let me just make it a bit smaller. So I'm having the heading. The heading is here, okay. This is the heading here, okay. This is the title. Title is hidden here, okay. If I say maybe, just be careful. Let's look at this part here. If I say maybe this is Eric's, no, and just to uh, profile here, and I save. I refresh to show me profile, okay. And if I hover here, you can see the word profile, okay, local or shared file, okay. So the title appears here in this segment, okay. For example, if I go here to show me download Visual Studio Code, that means this whole word, okay, they are put within the title. Same applies to even to this. All these words are put within the title. Same applies to this. Same applies to our meeting, okay. So all those words were put in the title, okay. That's the title tag, okay. All right. So I'm going over through this, but of course I won't be covering this over and over until you get it as we go along. So I'm going to hopefully, let me see, this is very tiny, not very tiny per se. Let me say shut. All right. So from there on, as you're seeing, this what appears here. Okay. The difference is you're seeing this is bold and big. This is bold and a bit smaller. This is different lines, different paragraphs. Okay. Let's make a list. Okay. And I'm sure I had days I was talking about an order lists. Okay. This which are ordered. So ordered is OL. So order list, okay, and OL, okay, ordered. Okay. Yeah, ordered. And if you hover, it says the OA represents a list of items where the items have been intentionally ordered, okay, such that the changing the order might change the meaning, okay. You can say top, or let's say top 10, let's say true top 10, top 3 things Eric likes, okay. Assuming I save, I refresh, okay. So I will start with maybe number 1 here, number 1, okay. I will say UL, okay. That's a front UL, LI, and LI stands for list item, okay. The LI represents a list item if its parent element is an OL, UL on menu element, then the element is an item of the parent. Okay, so it's like you are simply having a list which is OL, then you're having items within that. Okay? So maybe what I like maybe music. Probably I like music also. I'm not sure. Also probably I also like. I can copy this, save time, paste this. I love cats. Okay, probably also maybe love cheese. Okay, assuming. Okay, so those are the three things I like. Okay, and you can see it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, well list. Okay. Then let's also do maybe unordered, which doesn't matter. Unordered is and yes, another H2 here to show maybe things I like. Order doesn't matter. Okay, order doesn't matter. So maybe things I hate. Okay? Things I hate. I hate. Assuming. Okay, I refresh this. Okay, like that. I come back to my HTML here. New line. I say UL. Okay, and UL stands for unordered list. Okay, can say the UL element represents a list of items where the order is not important. Okay, together. Because I think that, for example, things I hate, I don't have like an order of hatred for different things. Maybe I can say LI again. What do I hate? I hate noise probably. I also probably also hate. Let me see. Yes, Emmanuel. Please type in the chat your question. Okay. So please type your question in the chat. I'll be waiting for it as I'm continuing here real quickly. So can see it's now it's a bulleted list. Okay? So the UL panel for now you can assume that the UL is uh, a numbered list. Then the OL the OL is a numbered list. Then the UL is a bulleted list. Okay. So let me just do another LI here again and say probably I also hate mice because I love cats. Okay. Assuming. Okay. So maybe also noise and mice. Those are the two things I hate, but there's no order. I may hate mice more, I may hate noise more. But for this one, music is on top of the list, then cats, then cheese, last one. So for OL, order list, okay, and for UL is an order list, okay, unordered, okay, together. All right, okay. So let me wait for the question of Emmanuel. He has left. Anyway, let's continue. So that's a recap of last week's work, hopefully. Okay, and I've been told that it didn't cover forms, but forms will come in later. Let's first cover today's class. Okay, so for today's class, we are going to be adding what we call color to our work. Okay, this color. I think you also look at images. But let's also do the last one. It is an image, and then I would add the colors and stuff. Okay, so for now, let's add an image down here. I mean at the top here. So I'm gonna go on Google and search my name to see if I have my images there. So maybe I can use this one for Google. This image here, I can use it. Right click. I can save image as somewhere there. All right. So I've went somewhere and I've got an image, okay, of myself, okay, like that. Okay. You can go to Google, search for an image. They can say shimming camper bits. Okay. You can also do that camper bits, animated camper bits. Go to the images tab. Definitely you will see images of camper bits. Here can be camper bits. You can click on it, load, right click, and save as. Hopefully this is okay. Then I have these two images, okay, together. Since you're working in a local file, I'm going to show you the local way of doing it. Hopefully you covered this with Daisy. So I go back to my folder, okay, and the easiest way is just drag and drop. Okay, you can simply drag this. Okay, I'm holding it, drag and drop it there. Okay, drag and drop this here. Okay, together. Now you can see I'm having this image. Okay, myself. It's tiny, but nevertheless it works. Okay, then you have this image of the Carbis logo. Okay, so let's put them on our here uh, on this first part. Okay, before the about me. Okay, maybe after the about me. Okay, so I go back to my HTML here. Maybe this, hide this. Okay, down here. First name this. I'm going to name this to my name, Eric. So hopefully this is clear. Just simply right click on the what you want to rename, then rename. It will be there. Just go to be there. I think it's the second last option. Okay, when you right click. So I'm going to add this images very quick, very fast. So here, and how to add them? Just do img. Okay, img there. That's the tag for images. Okay, and if you hover, it says img element represents an image. Okay, there. So whatever you type, you can actually get the definition of that. Okay, so I'll do I'll close, and the img tag, it's just like the doc type. Okay, it's self closing. Okay, just simply close it like that. Don't have it doesn't have a closing tag. Okay, together you can see when you start typing, it even shows you errors. Okay, so this closing tag for img, it doesn't exist. Okay, it's not there. Okay, together because you don't put anything in between these two tags. Okay, I don't put anything between these two tags here. Okay, so it's something important. Okay, to have the closing tag. Okay, that's what we call a safe closing tag. Closes it safe. All right. So from there, I can put src. Okay, is the source, and src stands for the image URL. Okay, this is attribute is mandatory for img element on browsers supporting src. No, for about the src set, but src is really like a coordinate image with pixel density. So this is a lot of technical things, but know that that's the image URL. Okay, yeah, the image URL. You can either use an image URL. Maybe you can go ahead and say right click on an image you find on the internet and simply copy link no copy image address. Okay, then you simply paste it to work the same way. Okay, like that. Okay, it's work the same way because now you are getting the image from internet. Okay, together. And if I go to this URL, this one here, which I've copied, I can see I'm seeing this image. Okay, together. But since you are dealing with local files, this way of doing it is not recommended, because what happens if Carbis website is down? That means your images will not be available. Okay, it's better use your own images for your own project. Okay, together. So I'm going to go back here, and since I already have my image for Canvas here, the logo, I can come to my src and make a bit bigger than this. Okay, I can go to my src element here and simply type Canvas. Start typing the name of the image. It will appear. This is Visual Studio Code, makes your life easy. Okay, I do Canvas, then it shows me. I can click on it. Okay, now hopefully Daisy went over this with you with the images. Okay? That's how you add an image. And when I check my my code here, I refresh, I'm seeing this image here. Okay, together. Let me also add another image down here, img. Okay. src, very quick here, src. I do Eric, I think, Eric on JPEG. Okay, transfer on PNG, on JPEG. HTML supports different formats. Okay, supports JPEG, JPEG, supports PNG, supports GIF, supports WebP, supports quite a lot of different formats. Okay, now refresh, you can see it's a bit tiny. Okay, but we don't mind. Okay, because it was already tiny at the beginning. Okay? All right, so I've looked at that real quickly, and we have 9 minutes. for me to finish this for the recap very quickly, then we can start something. So let me just add, let me show a website where I can get very nice images, because these images are okay, but these are images for Alphabets and images for Eric. So assuming you have a project or maybe of apples, okay, an Apple company, maybe an Apple website to sell apples, okay, but you don't have images of apples, okay, assuming you don't have images of apples, but you want very nice images of apples, okay. What you can go to this website called pixels.com, okay, pixels.com. So pixels.com has very nice images, and they are what we call royalty free images. So when it comes to images, there's copyright strikes and all these things. But when you're having, when you're using a site like Pixels, it has free images. Okay. For example, I'm going to search here for apples. Okay, apples. Enter. So give me very nice images, like very high quality, high definition images of apples. You can see apples here, apples here, apples here, green apples, red apples, see a single apple. This is from iStock, but ignore iStock. Then there is apple on the tree. There's apple which is reflective. There's the apple is cut. See all these different apples. Okay, together. So let's download some image of an apple, and I'll show you again how to put the image on the website again. So I'm going to, you can like, probably I like this one here, which is nice. I like the how it's reflective. Okay, so I'm gonna come here, click on free download. But before I click on free download, I'm going to choose the size. Okay, so you come here and here the arrow, and you can choose the size. Okay, so you can choose. See, this is the quality, which is almost like 5,000. Uh, it's almost like 4K, but it's like 5K already. So I'm gonna choose a small size. Okay, like medium is okay. This is too huge for me. Okay, medium is okay. Then I download the selected image. So if you have internet, it will be like very fast. Okay, and the image is high quality. Okay, very high quality, and you can have a look at it. High quality. I can zoom in a little bit. You can see high quality. Okay, so I have high quality images which are free. Okay? From there, as I've said, you can drag the image here and drop it inside. You first do this. First open this app. Make sure it's open like that. Then go to where you got the image from, which is maybe downloads. It's here. This image of that of the apple. Drag and drop it here. Okay, together. That's a simple way of doing it. Drag and drop it inside this section which has your folder name. Okay, together. So I have the image there. This is the image I want. Image for the apple. I'm going to rename it. Okay, because the name is very long. I'm going to name it apple. Okay, apples. Okay. From there, I can go to my HTML again. Okay, instead of having here Eric, I'm going to just change this one to apple. Apples.jpg. Okay, I save, Control S to save. Okay, Control S to save. Then I go back to my website, which is here, profile. I refresh. Okay, this is the upper part. Okay, this is a bit of an apple. Okay, it's a bit huge. See, this is a bit small. Okay, but this is huge. Okay, because it's high quality, high definition. Okay, together. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this Wakama base logo. I'm going to move it. Okay, just going to have that. Okay, Control 0. I'm going to have this, and an image of an apple. Okay, together. So, but if you can look at this, so right now is let me say questions in the chat. No questions in the chat. All right. So since the question in the chat, no problem. As we have already done this images of an apple, like with image of an apple here, I'm going to make the image of an apple a bit smaller just to fit on my page, because here it just disappears. Okay, so you can add other attributes. Okay, this is an attribute. Okay, So whatever you write in the opening tag of an element is an attribute. Okay, I'm going to type here. Probably I'm going to type the height of it. Maybe I will name it say 400 pixels. Here I do. Let's do the instead of height. Let's do with it. Okay? Because the height is okay. The height is alright. Okay, height is alright, but the width is a bit wide. So I'm going to say width of 400 pixels. I refresh a bit smaller. Okay, together again. If I say maybe here 1,000, save, it will be huge. Okay, here if I go back to 400, a bit small. Okay, anyway, the 400 is okay. If you want a bit small, you can say the 40 to be tiny, very tiny. You see, very tiny. So please pan now. Simply, if you are changing the size of an image, simply only change the width. Okay, you can change the height of it if you want to. Height, I can say height here equals maybe this equals to 10 pixels assuming. Okay, see, let me just make it like 100 pixels to 10. You can see it's a bit skewed. Okay, skewed, it's stretched. It's better you only touch on the width of the image. Okay, so I've only touched the width because the height is gonna be kind of it's gonna make it skewed for now. Okay, for now. Okay, so I've only touched the height, and both the height and the width have changed. Okay, because it is automatically changes according to dimension. Okay, so right now I've had a simple website. Okay, with an image you can have more images here. Okay, you can have as many images as you want. Okay, together. So from there on, uh, do you guys have any questions who are available on the chat? Are we all clear? Are we all clear on this? For the chat? Yeah. Yes. Chariot is asking about no, yeah, he's asking about the recording. Yes. So the class is recorded. This lesson is recorded, and you'll be having a reference for it. Okay. All right. Good. So from there on, we have done this. This is a recap of the whole week's work. Of course, some parts I may have skipped them. Some parts I may have skipped them. Some parts I may have skipped them. Yeah. But anyway, let us continue on this. And for today's part, let us first have a simple presentation just to recap this. Okay. A simple presentation of what I've prepared for today's class because I'm recapping this. Then we'll add some few of CSS. Then we'll call it a day. So for today's class, what I wanted us to look at CSS. Okay. So we have been looking at HTML. Okay. And HTML, we said HTML is what we call hypertext markup language, which is just simply the content, okay, of the web, of the web. Okay, it takes the images and it takes, okay, but for colors, for sizing, for background images, for background color, all those things, we need what we call CSS, okay, or cascading style sheet. Okay, together. So cascading style sheet, in short, it's used to create. Yeah, it's used to create what to add styling. Okay, to our HTML and CSS. Okay? So CSS stands for cascading style sheet, and it's used to style and layout web pages. For example, to add a font, you can change the color, change the size, change the spacing, split it to multiple contents, add animations, make your website look nice. Okay, together. Like let me take an example of our website here for Coverbits, coverbits.org, coverbits.org. Let me use a guest browser. Let me use a guest browser. A little bit slow, but anyway, okay. you can see the colors. Okay, we have yellow, we have red, thing, we have something which is kind of like background image. You see, we have like border, we have maybe like when you hover, it just simply changes color. Those small details. Okay, for example, we have different alignment, different sections. We have some border here which changes, some animations here. We have back images which are, you see the way they are moving here. They're kind of pulsing. We have still which changes maybe the border and all that. Those small details, but they make the website look nice. Okay, together. Because imagine if you had only the word like an official like a document, like a word document, it won't look nice. Okay, so all these things can be done. See, those sort of things, okay, together can be done with CSS. Okay, like the color is dark here, this image which is a bit faded. All those things can be done with CSS. All right. So let's get into it. Let's go back to our presentation. Here we go. So that's a sample of what CSS can do. So it does that. Okay, it does all the styling. Okay, and the tags are also simple, not very complex. For example, we have you can say maybe I want to call the P tag, and I want to make it red. Okay, so this color red. So say paragraph, then curly braces, then the color or maybe the font size, the font family. Go look at this in a moment. Okay. So from there on, we have different ways of doing CSS. You have what we call inline, you have internal, you have external, and you're going to look at this, okay, at some of this. Okay. So I'm going to have maybe some theory about inline. So internal CSS is what you saw here in a moment. Okay, you saw this, which is width of 100 pixels. Okay, see, that's like it's internal styling. Okay, we are actually inside the element. Okay, that's internal styling. Okay, so we write that's inline. Okay, I skipped inline, but inline hopefully. Okay, so this remember inline CSS is what we saw here. We put it inside the element. Okay, then internal CSS you put it in the style tag in the head. Okay, we're gonna see this. Okay, then external you put it outside the HTML file. Okay? I'm going to look at this in detail in practice to see how it looks, how it works. Okay, so the next part is things which recommendations which I recommend, because I will look at all these things, but I don't want to waste too much energy on inline CSS because inline CSS I don't recommend it, and internal is okay, but internal can also get confusing. So internal and inline I don't recommend them, and I recommend external. Okay, so let us go ahead and look at this real quick, very fast. Then we can try out the different styling. So let me check if there's any question. So for now, so let me see question, right? So any questions for what I've covered, because I've been building a recap for last week. The last few minutes I've building a recap. So for today's class begins here. Okay. So let's look at some styling to make our things look better. Okay. So our profile part. Go back to here. Drag and drag it here. Okay. So back to our. So since you have no questions, let's go back to our web page. You see, this is how it looks like. Nothing crazy. So let us maybe I want to change the color of this profile to maybe to blue. Okay, I can go to my H1 here. Okay, it's H1. I do style. Okay, it's called internal CSS, internal inline CSS. Can say style maybe color. Okay, then full colors red. Okay? So say the blue. So color blue. Then I close. Okay, so just like HTML, it has what we call a closing statement. Okay, so this semicolon is a closing statement. Okay, so you say color, which is the key. Okay, then you have what we call the value. Okay, which is blue. Then the value and the color are separated by 2 colons. Then after doing the styling, you just close it off. Okay, so from that I can refresh. Okay, and you can see it has changed to blue. Okay, you can change any color you want. For example, I can say I want it to be red. Rebecca couple, Rebecca purple. Okay, let's use Rebecca couple, Rebecca purple. Okay, I'm using Rebecca couple here, Rebecca purple. All right, so you can see it has changed to this purple color. Okay, the different colors. Okay, you can see I want mine to be yellow. Okay, to show you yellow and to be refreshed. Okay, to be yellow. But as I've said, I'm a fan of teal. I'm gonna name it teal. Okay, teal. All right. So there are lots and lots of colors. Okay. So the first thing you have touched is style, color, teal. Okay. This is called inline CSS. Okay. And it's good to know inline CSS, but in the long run, you don't need to know that inline CSS. Like your body tag here, keeping your foot tag here. Make sure I did it by mistake. Command, right? So refresh, but nothing has changed. So remember, this is okay. You can use this, okay, but we don't want to use something which is not recommended. Okay, we want to use things which are recommended. Okay, so goes away. So we want to use things which are recommended. Okay, and I've said we recommend internal or external. Okay, this is good. But imagine you have a bunch of H1s here, another H1 here. Okay, then maybe Eric education assuming. Okay, here down here, probably down after here you have maybe here together, and you want it to be the same color, and be the same color as what, as this teal. Okay, same color as this teal. So what do? You have to also go back, copy this like that, copy it, come and paste it here. Okay, you see, now imagine you have 1,000, maybe like 100 H1s. You're going to be suffering to change all the colors of each of the H1s. Okay, so that's why we have now internal. Okay, we separate the CSS and the HTML. So internal, this is inline. Just the quote here, inline CSS together. So internal CSS, instead of writing CSS here, you write CSS inside the head tag. Okay, you come here, head tag. But the head tag only has the title. You can now have another tag called style. Okay, so we have the title, then you have the style. You can do style here. Okay, you close it. Okay, like that. You have title, and you have style. Okay, together. Then inside the style, you can now copy the same thing here, the same color till here, which is here. I'm going to copy it, but now then I'll call the H1 just the way you saw in the slide. Okay, here. Okay, the slide here where we're having the P curly braces, then the color, then the P, then the curly braces, then the color, then red. Okay, so this is what you need to know for CSS only. Okay, to do here, I'm going to do an H1 like that, then curly braces. Then I paste that thing which was color till closing tag or closing semicolon. Okay, so we do H1, the color you want, then till. Okay, so this is now not required. Okay, so if I go back here, have another H1, maybe I have like other H1s here, Control V, Control V, Control V. I have maybe like actually I have all this. Okay. Oh, come on. I have all these H1s. Okay, on my page. If I check and I refresh my page, they all be teal. Okay, so this makes the colors make them red. Okay, red is a bit more red here. Okay, so this refresh, they're all red. Okay, okay. Apart from this one here, okay, this one because it's as you call the levels. So go look at that later on, but this is an introduction, so don't mind it. You can see all these are red. Okay, if I change maybe to blue, they all be blue. Okay, together because I've called the H1. Okay, together called a selector. You select the element you want to select from the page, then you start it. Okay, so I'm gonna remove everything. I'm going to just only go ahead and do maybe, because maybe let's say uh hobbies here. So hobbies actually. Okay, so I have my hobbies. Sorry, so I have my hobbies and I can refresh this. I have this, which is blue. Okay, which is good. And if I move this blue part, if I remove it, Ctrl X assuming, it will just kind of go away. Okay, that's what we call internal CSS. Okay, this is just simply introduction. So even if you don't get this by now, as you're progressing forward in time, I'm going to look at this in detail and understand it as you practice. Okay, all right. So you apply the color. Okay, let's also do some other property code, maybe background color. Okay, background color. Let's try white. Assuming. Okay, let's try instead of white. Okay, let's try background color black. Okay. So see, it has become black for both of them. Okay, together. Both of them are black. Okay, it's coming out nicely. Okay, so I'm going to change the color from instead of blue to color white. Okay, just a contrast between black and white, make it look nice. Okay, okay, this refresh. This has changed. I'm going to change. I'm going to move this internal styling. I'm just going to go ahead and comment out like that. Control copy and paste again down here like that. And remove the style here. Just to make sure that everything looks nice and clean. Okay. So now I have this kind of very simple heading. Okay. Then I can also maybe change the the one of this H2, the H2. So I can do here H2. Okay. So for each element, for each selector, you have a new line. Okay, you do this the closing curly braces. Okay, like that. Then you can do maybe an H2. I say I want background color to be maybe to be gray. Okay, then the color, yeah, the gray is okay. Let me see. You can see now this and that. Okay, coming out as simple as possible. Okay, I haven't done too much on our page, but this is it's nice. When it's like it's a bit nice. Okay, coming out nicely. Okay, with the headings are all white and with the white color. The subheadings or the H2s, they're all black with a gray background. Together. Okay. So let me check in a chat message. All right. Go back to my class here, to this part. So we actually have few things here. Okay. You can also change the font size, by the way. Maybe this font is a bit small. You can do font size maybe like 300 pixels, make it huge. Okay, and then you can start making it a bit smaller. Now it's very huge. Let's remove the 0. Okay, refresh. Now 30. Let's say maybe it's like 45. And see it's a bit bigger. Okay, I think I'm gonna make it a bit smaller, like maybe like 14 pixels, like 18 pixels. I'm just guessing the numbers. Okay, they're not from anywhere, just from my mind. The numbers 18, 30. I'm just guessing the numbers. Okay, and pixel stands for uh pixels. P stands for pixels. Okay, so this is CSS and it is different from HTML. Okay, so this things inside here, they're all different from the HTML part. Okay, So that's how it works. All right. So let's see. You have some 2 minutes to go. Okay. So let's do some few things. I have done the color. I have done the background color. Let's also maybe do the height and the width. Okay. I can say here width of the H1. Okay. Maybe of 300 pixels. Okay. We're gonna say it's gonna be different. I refresh. You see, this whole thing now has reduced the size. Okay, of the H1. Okay, the H1 one. You see, right now this one is very long, covers the whole page. But if I want to maybe make it a bit smaller, I can do with this of 300 pixels, assuming. Okay, I can also maybe do text align center. I'm just doing as like I'm just giving you different things, but later on I'm going to go step by step, look at all the different properties and what they do. Okay, okay. This now it has go in the middle. Let's maybe remove this. Let's do maybe this was 500 pixels, bit bigger. Okay, nice and nice. Okay, yeah. I can also maybe copy the same thing here, paste it in the H2. Okay, refresh. Also look what nice. Okay, with simple styling, you have moved the whole thing and made it simple and nice. Okay, let's also try something different. We can change the font. You should change the font already. Change the font size, font color. That is how you change for it's not confusing. Can change the height. Okay? So let's change the height of the image. Okay, so go to image, okay? IMG. Okay, instead of us changing the size here using this internal CSS, I'm going to move the internal CSS here. I save this. I go up here and I'll do a height, okay, of maybe no, let's with this. Maybe this refresh here should go away. Good. Do a width, a width of was 400 pixels. I think 400 pixels. I save this. I right click. I format. Everything now arranged nicely. And I refresh. Okay. Simple. Okay. So now I've moved all the CSS which I've done inside the HTML, the inline, and I've shifted it to be internal. Okay. Okay. That's what I've done so far. So let me see. So by now, let me see if there are questions in the chat. There's no questions. Yes. So I'm taking questions from either Chalia, Charita, or Murelu. If you have questions, please do ask. Because okay. So lesson will be available since Rita has no questions. Okay. So the lesson will be available and the recording will be available in the next few minutes. I'm going to upload it and I'll share a link with you. What we have covered so far. And yes, I'm going to end the session here. Please do recap this. I'm going to share it in the chat also. And also the code, I'll share it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop here for the class. I'm ending a bit early. But nevertheless, thank you for attending. And see you in the next session.